Welcome back for the third video in my Baldur's Gate 3 lore faction series. In today's video, we'll be talking about the Harpers. There will be no story spoilers in this video, it will be lore focused. Before we get started, I want to give a quick shout out to some recent YouTube channel members, Amp B, Tomden, Sarasi Effect, Plesh Tossi, and Kuro Zayal, and also thank you to a recent channel patron, Ingram. I appreciate all of your guys' support. It definitely helps in allowing me to push out content like this that typically doesn't get that many views. Links to my Twitter and my Discord server will be below. Let's get right into it. The Harpers are a semi-secret organization who are dedicated to promoting fairness and equality throughout all of Faerun. They are a scattered network of spellcasters and spies who aid the poor, weak, and oppressed, and covertly oppose the abuse of power. They typically operate by covert means to discern political dynamics within the realms and regions of the land, to ensure that no leader, government, or group grows too powerful. They also work to preserve history and maintain the balance between civilization and nature, much like that of the Emerald Enclave. We come across hints of Harper's activity in Baldur's Gate 3's early access through notes and letters, so keep a keen eye on the things that you find. Overall, the Harpers are decentralized and they have cells and lone operatives all over the continent. When needed, they will interact and share information with each other, and friendships between Harpers can be strong, unbreakable bonds. The Harpers are masterful spies and infiltrators and are known to use various guises and secret identities to form relationships, gather information, and manipulate others into doing what needs to be done. Members of the Harpers do not seek power nor glory, and their near autonomous nature make them a blessing to the good people of Faerun. Their core beliefs can be summarized as one can never have too much information, too much power leads to corruption, and no one should be powerless. Many actions that the Harpers take will go unnoticed by most, but these very actions may save the lives of thousands. Skillful deals and quiet words can turn enemies aside from each other, force a way clear where there was none before, and distract foes from tearing each other's throats out. If the situation calls for it though, the Harpers will draw swords and enter the public eye to defend their beliefs. Over the course of the organization's history, they have disbanded and reformed various times. The idea for the organization came into existence in 324 Dal Reckoning, over 1100 years before the events in Baldur's Gate 3, by a group of Myth-Draenn elves alongside a few trusted human rangers and druids. Dathlu Mistwinter, the heiress of the noble Mistwinter house in the elven city of Myth-Draenn, wanted to create a force of good to protect the city, and this group would meet at twilight in secret locations in the elven court. They became known as the Harpers at Twilight, and their symbol became that of Mistwinter's house, a silver harp between the horns of a crescent moon. At the head of the council also included a young mage by the name of Elminster, who would go on to become one of the most famous and powerful wizards in all of Faerun. The city of Myth-Draenn was once considered to be the pinnacle of shared knowledge, culture, and civilization in Faerun, but it's currently in ruins. It is located northeast of Baldur's Gate within the Cormanthor Forest. Over the next 4 centuries, the Harpers at Twilight dwindled in numbers due to the attrition of a large number of evil enemies who were attracted to the current success of the Elven City. In 714 Dal Reckoning, the great elven city of Myth-Draenn fell in the Weeping Wars. The army of Myth-Draenn, the Ak-Velar, was defeated by the invading demonic forces known as the Army of Darkness. The Army of Darkness was a massive force of nearly 60,000 Yugoloths, ogres, goblinoids, and giants that were led by a demon named Almpitter. Dathlu Mistwinter was killed in the ensuing battles, and all but around a dozen Harpers survived. Around 6 years later, Elminster and the remaining Harpers began recruiting for the organization once again, as the forces of Bane, Baal, Merkel, and other evil gods were growing. In a druid's grove known as High Dal, the Harpers gathered and priests of the goodly gods were called upon to make alliances with the elves. It is here that several effective relationships were formed, and the Harpers, through Elminster's wise words, earned the trust of many of the gods themselves. They started to establish an incredibly effective information network, and were even granted the use of fortified temples and monasteries to help train and recuperate when needed. As the forces of evil continued to grow, the Harpers' increasingly public actions garnered them many powerful enemies, such as the Church of Bane and the forces of Thay. They would lose many of their members and were eventually driven underground. This is when Elminster decided that the organization from here on out would be an underground army of adventurers. The Harpers would go through many more reformations over the centuries, and even a period of corruption, although not the entire organization was aware of this. In more modern times, the Harpers were one of the many factions that came together to stop the cult of the dragon's attempts at freeing the dragon goddess Tiamat from her imprisonment in the Nine Hells. They are currently an active organization and mainly operate in northern Faerun along the Sword Coast, in the western Heartlands, and in the Dale Lands. The Harpers' most recognizable foes include the Zentarim, the Red Wizards of Thay, and the Cult of the Dragon. Some notable former Harpers are now part of an organization known as the Moonstars, which was created by a former Harper by the name of Kelbin Arunsun. Kelbin was discovered to have played a part in the theft of a powerful artifact that found its way into the hands of the Zentarim, which would lead him to leaving the Harpers and forming his own secret organization. The Moonstars were very much in tune with the beliefs of the Harpers, but they operated slightly differently and kept tighter control on their agents. Those of you who played the original Baldur's Gates might remember encountering or joining up with some members of the Harpers. Gorion, your ward, who was murdered by Saravak right in front of you on your way out of Candlekeep, was a Harper. So was Jaheira and Khalid, who you likely first encountered at the Friendly Arm Inn. Thanks so much for watching. There will certainly be more videos to come in this faction lore series. If you guys ended up enjoying this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. It's a huge help to my videos. I do all sorts of content on this channel, ranging from comedy videos to live streams to game reviews to game tutorials to lore videos to class guides and much more. Fuck, what was I saying? Shit. I'd love to see some of you guys on a future video. Until next time.